What's up, everybody? It's Adrian.
Justin C.
Thanks for tuning in. If you like what you're seeing, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the button below. Also, share it with your friends.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Now roll the tape.
All right. How long are we doing this for?
We're your hosts,
Adrian Doell and
Justin C.
there and back.
Here we go.
There.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's like,
welcome back.
hey,
Oh yeah.
Welcome back to the
what's happening? What's happening, chat?
What's up? We're just talking shit.
So we just got done doing 3 mics. We did the Looney Bin. Yeah.
Hunt Club.
And Starlight. It was pretty cool. I think it was a pretty successful.
I had a great time.
Yeah, it's fun.
I always have a great time with you. We're gonna do it again tomorrow with Kayvon.
We're gonna run it back.
Because
Justin will be here.
I'll
as
be
well.
here.
He'll be here. Never forget.
hopefully,
It'll all be
hopefully
raw.
John McMillan will be here this
Oh,
time.
yeah,
We'll
yeah.
see.
He doesn't have a choice this time. He had his choice.
That's so funny.
Yeah, because there's gonna be some industry in the crowd tomorrow.
Yeah.
There it is.
It'd be dumb not to go if
You got to
go.
bring your best new shit.
I hope.
That's new shit
Well, I don't have my best new shit, but I have old shit
that they haven't
that
heard.
they haven't heard.
And that's as new as it needs to be.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
And shouts to Looney Bin.
My best new shit I've already been doing there. You know what I mean?
It's almost like it's an open mic.
Yeah.
And
Right,
you're taking some risks, you know?
Yep. Yep. It is an open mic.
A lot of people do new stuff. Sometimes it hits and sometimes it don't.
It's true.
And we've seen both cases tonight.
Yeah. About that whole talking to, it's completely like respectful. I was like, oh, I'm really sorry.
Oh
You
yeah.
guys don't worry about it. So like,
Yeah.
no big deal.
No, yeah, they're cool. It's just, you know, that's that type of place. I call them eggshell mics, you know, where you just like you already understand the assignment and then you have a Freudian slip and then and they always notice. And they'll just be like, hey, you know.
Well, I mean, I didn't think that word.
Because they usually say like gay slurs. They don't want
Yeah,
gay
it's
slurs.
no
Right.
slurs. So
I didn't know
for people watching the podcast, I said
The word is
R
retarded.
word.
the word is retarded.
Yeah, I said retarded, and they asked me not to say that, and that's cool.
But that is a gay slur. But you know, yeah, it's I don't feel like it's anyone's place to tell you or police you. It's an intimate duality between you and the audience, and that'll speak for itself, and that should guide you.
And you got laughs after you
The
said it.
audience freaking loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if you get laughs. It's like well, yeah, N-word, please. You know, like if you just hard harder and just just took it up a notch. But yeah, no, it's always strange to me because it's like it's an open mic and you're signing up for anyone being able to sign up, and it's just hard to police that. I've tried. You can give everyone a preface. You can tell everyone, hey, here's the general threshold of what we accept. And it's up to the host or the venue to like create those stipulations.
Yeah.
But this ain't like America's Got Talent or Phil Tony. We don't need all that extra because it's just, they're not listening to the joke, and that context is everything. You know, they just hear a word and then they already drew their conclusions on from the surface, where it's like, listen to the joke first, because the joke might, that word might be a comedic misdirection, and but yeah, it's just, you got to get people they need to be able to like go home and be like, I really did something today. I really kept it safe. I kept that space so safe. even though I feel like the chances of contracting an STD there a lot higher than letting it. You got to put the condom on before you walk.
Guys have to laugh.
Hey, I mean it's Victoria's Secret is hepatitis. Last time I checked, we've all had untreated syphilis, right? Like,
Remember the times before the internet?
Oh yeah.
Victoria's Secret. That's all I had.
dude, Maxim,
Oh,
That's all I had.
Maxim
As a
magazine.
kid. Well, Maxim wasn't out when I was a kid. So, yeah, man.
I lost my virginity to a Girls Gone Wild.
Oh yeah, like at 3 a.m.
Yep, and it plays for 45 minutes and
Yeah.
it just loops.
That or
And you just catch, you gotta,
Yeah, you got to
it's
be
gonna
quick.
come back. It's gonna come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to be quick with your
Exactly.
ejack.
That's where I figured that I could do that to myself. It's like, what is this
I
feeling?
I-
What
I was
lotion
like,
is there?
I've actually got a bit about that. 3 years old.
Did you come up with a bit when you were 8?
No. I came up with a bit like recently. It's like I found out how to jack off when I was 8 or so.
That's a good
I had a
time.
buddy,
That's a good time to
I
learn.
taught him too.
Yeah.
What are friends for?
I think it was. Yeah.
I remember a time where it's like,
In a hammock.
hey.
In a hammock in the backyard, bro.
Talk about a swinger. Yeah, I just remember there's a time where, collectively our friend group knew how to masturbate. We acknowledged we masturbate.
Yeah.
And then not everyone comes at the same time, And not on some circle jerk stuff, but it's like the moment stuff comes out of your penis, whenever I learned how to do it to myself, on that Girls Gone Wild commercial or infomercial was, nothing came out. And I miss those days. But I remember longing for the times where I'm like, I hear my friends like, I just jizzed in a pizza. Everyone's talking about how much they jizzed. And I'm like, yeah, dude, me too. Yeah, me too. I jizzed. And I remember the day I jizzed, I was like, it was like being at Yellowstone, seeing old guy, old faithful, the
I
guy.
heard about this.
Oh, it finally happened. I'm not gay after all. And that was, a novelty back then. But I'm like, man, I'd take puberty blockers now to go back to that time where a worry-free time, where you can just freely orgasm without ejaculate.
Yeah.
And boy, I undervalued that time. I was wanting to jizz so bad.
The grass is always greener.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the grass is always creamier on the other side. And now I'm like, there was utility to that, But now we live with consequences looking out of our penis.
So Paul invited me to his birthday party, like 5-6 years later.
RuPaul or?
Paul, the kid I taught how to jack.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Someone's got to do it.
Yeah.
Earth and Views doesn't cover that part.
Awkward at the birthday. I don't know if he did. I never said anything.
If he did, he could just go jack off and get release that stress.
Like, I don't know if it was in the back of his mind, like, yeah, this guy had taught me how to jack off. I thought he was going to tell the other kids, but he never said anything about it. So maybe.
I taught a kid how to masturbate during a show at Dr. Church one time. Because they're not a child, but at least an 11-year-old, and
What?
pro tip,
We'll cut this out of the podcast.
pro tip. Pro tip.
Okay.
No, it wasn't anything like I wasn't like grooming him. I was just telling him, give him some pro tips.
Oh yeah. Well then.
It's like, hey, dude,
Well, from the stage, where you get
tell your parents you were just cleaning it and it went off. Like it's okay,
There's no way.
dude. I mean, my computer faced the door. That like if you walked into my room when I lived at my parents' house, my computer screen faced the door. So unless you were just really swift with the keyboard strokes,
Yeah.
your parents are gonna catch you giving yourself the keystroke,
Yeah.
And it just got to a point where I had If it was my mom or dad, I would be quicker with the alt window minimize thing. My grandma didn't give a shit.
We're all tab.
Alt tab. It's like I was just playing number crunchers. I was just learning math. And
I had that server, but it was only Linux, so I had a text-based web browser, so I would read like sex literature.
some good old smut.
Jack off to some sex literature on the fucking
And that's classy.
through the shell.
That's a victimless.
Yeah,
That's victimless.
jacking off until you're jacking off to
Yeah.
some smutty.
I'm just
the shell.
It's for the AR points, Mom. I promise. This is a 69 level reading level or whatever.
My sister was going through nursing school, so I get her nursing books and find the syphilis or whatever would show me pictures.
You jack off.
It's
Well-
that looks familiar.
I would find the most decent,
Okay.
diseased,
Like
naked
the
lady.
least disease.
Naked. Yeah.
So I'm a paramedic, right? I recently had the STD talk with Scott, but like pictures and of everything.
You gotta. That's the
So
time to.
terrified.
You gotta fear monger.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
That reminds me of some Ugandan far right activist. You guys might have seen the video where he's like at an elementary school in front of a bunch of kids, and he printed off photos of homosexual acts, and he was like, homosexuality is a sin in Uganda, and talking about look, they eat the booty like it's ice cream. They eat the poo poo. And if someone told me that's if I was eating the poo poo, that would have helped.
Yeah.
That would help a lot.
Don't eat.
Don't eat the poo poo unless you've acquired the taste above the age of 18.
Well, so I told him how I had gotten the clam once. This is like fucking 30 years ago. 20 years ago. No, about 30 years ago. Anyway.
You got the clap when you were 3?
No.
Oh,
Actually, no. I'm not thank done.
You are high as fuck right now, ain't you?
I'm doing pretty good. So 20 years ago.
You were-
And so now he's even more afraid because I had an STD.
Yeah.
And so he's like, "Is that the one you got, Dad?"
Oh, wow.
I'm
Well,
like, "No, that's not the one."
no, you're looking at a picture.
But anybody can get it.
Gonorrhea is for whores.
He's terrible.
You didn't get the ultimate STD that runs the family.
He knows quite a bit for a 12-year-old.
I feel like knowledge is power.
Yeah.
The more it's repressed, the higher the chance of them getting an STD. If you're
More
transparent with it,
So,
if you're transparent, the less likely you're going to become a transparent.
yeah.
Yeah.
They get a little too curious. You gotta, hey, buddy, foreign is between a man and a woman. And sometimes Asian people, but
I remember going to work and forgetting to clear my browser, and my wife found it.
Oh no.
Yeah, this is like 10 years ago. We were in the
plausible deniability.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a pop-up.
Yeah. we were in the
you know what?
ministry.
You know how the internet is. It was just a pop-up. Now I get that a lot because doing the job that I did, fixing, I do a lot of removing virus stuff. That was a bread and butter service, and people would, sometimes the virus gets so bad they couldn't close out their browser or whatever,
Oh yeah.
and they would always no, I wasn't watching porn or anything, and it's like, all right, dude, the fact that you said that, now I know you did. Now I'm snooping. Now I'm snooping big.
Now I'm looking for what you're into.
There was a guy that he came in and he had a business, and he was he suspected one of the employees of watching porn on one of the work computers because had a lot of viruses, and he sometimes you just don't close out, you don't close out your tabs.
Yeah.
You leave some evidence behind, and when he got called out for it, he pulled a gun at him.
Oh shit.
Oh, watching porn. That's yeah, right. So you just can't stop shooting loads. My dad, as I mentioned, my dad is a couple people away from Postmaster General, and he was telling me like, cause they're like a government. They're not like completely. It's a weird thing. They operate in this like weird quasi government thing, but they have to get on board with all the new politics and all the new things. So like for the longest time, mailman, postman, but now the like official accepted term is letter carrier.
Oh yeah.
And I know what letters they're carrying. It's at least three.
Which ones?
HIV.
Oh yeah.
Or HIV plus.
Anthrax.
Yeah, or anthrax. Yeah. No, I mean, it's like it's funny. My dad designed some of those systems. So when I was like shipping weed and stuff, I'd be like, "Hey, Dad, does it detect all bomb?" Like my weed dealer for the longest time was a guy I met on Craigslist. I never met him in real life, and then he was my weed dealer for about 10 years. 10 years, yeah. We would just do a whole little shouts to USPS. We would just mail back and forth. When I went to Seattle for the first time, and I was just like, dude, I know it's not. It was before it was completely recreationally legal. So I just went on Craigslist and just searched like MMJ or whatever, and then hit up a couple people, and I eventually met up with this guy in Chinatown, and we got into his car. And he threw a duffel bag of weed in my lap, and I've never seen that much weed before. I was like, dude, I'm just trying to buy like an eighth, so I don't do any less than an ounce.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, trying to play cool. Yeah, I got you. Fortunately, it was like half the price of what I thought it was going to be, and he didn't have a scale or like bags, so I just filled up like a big gulp cup with just weed and mailed it back to USPS. But when I got back home, this guy hit me up. He's like, "Hey, are you still looking?" I was like, "Nah, man, I'm actually not in Seattle anymore. Unless you could ship, LOL." And then he was like, "Give me a call." And I called him, and he's like, "Hey, listen, I could do that." And I was like, "Oh, for real?" So I just chanced it. So this guy could scam me pretty easy or whatever. But then he was my weed dealer for 10 years. Never met him in life.
That's great.
Met him on Craigslist. And yeah, no, he was consistent. It was just like Amazon bribing it. And I was making, it was a lower price for me, so I could provide quality cannabis to my constituents. And make a little bit on the back end. That's how I started my business. So I bootstrapped my business was through a Craigslist connection.
Yeah.
I was tempted whenever I went to Washington a couple months ago. I didn't have that long. I was in Spokane, which was on the opposite side, but I was tempted to hit him up to see if he wanted to have lunch. We got to a point where we just became friends. He showed me he had an Asian wife. Showed me all his pictures from the Great Wall of China. Told me about his the affair that he had. I mean, we got pretty intimate. And he was a big tech guy too, so he sent me some phones to fix, bought some flash drives from him. That was a good time. And then whenever weed became legal in Oklahoma, I had to let him down easy.
Yeah.
Say, hey, dude, sorry, but you're no longer convenient for me anymore.
I bet it's still cheaper though.
It's still probably cheaper, and it was quality. It was really good. That's some of the best weed I've ever smoked. It just came through the mail. I bought him a vacuum sealer because one time he mailed it to me, and he just was he just put like a dryer sheet in the box, and that definitely didn't cut it. There's no way that the car that it was in, little postcard, didn't reek. And so I bought him a vacuum sealer, and that fixed that up pretty good. It was good for 10 years.
One in your dryer sheet, then your weed had chemicals all over it.
Yeah. That's why I was like, hey, we don't need to do all that. One, it's not working, and then two, like I don't want whenever I smoke this, I mean, I don't want to gain. I'm trying to gain a high, not. It's like when people ate Tide Pods, basically.
Yeah.
They're,
That shit has toxic chemicals. I don't use
do you use those wool balls?
Yep.
Yeah, I got the wool balls. Spray a little essential on there. You know. Yeah, it's all. There's a lot of poison out there, and our bodies are pretty. It can take a lot, but just microdosing cancer every day at all times, it'll add up. It'll add up.
I sent
It's how you get syphilis.
you that link.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I'm glad to see another Mormon on board with the thing. Because my mom just like once she became a natural doctor, she was like, like would force that upon me. But then I saw like, oh, she's not just a witch doctor burning female donkey shit in the house. There's some efficacy to it. So
Yeah.
a lot of the stuff that's like kind of popping now, I just thought my mom was crazy, but then I try it, and I was like, oh, damn, you got a point there. So I'm very conscious about the inputs, because there's an economy to poison.
My kid's pretty on board, which is cool. Because like my mom did the same shit, but not quite. Like it's funny because my mom was like,
It's not cool to listen to your mom.
shopped at Trader Joe's mainly, and like was really strict. But I'm even more strict. And he's pretty on board. Like I've been giving him like fruit stuff. So this is great. Like it's so much better than eating candy.
Yeah, like you were saying, like
Yeah.
after a while, your body becomes so accustomed to, a certain thing to where if you like soda, I didn't drink soda for like shit, almost 15 years because I overdosed on Dr. Pepper.
Oh.
I literally had to go to the doctor. My dad lived in Washington, D.C. for a little bit for his job, seeing as he's so close to being postmaster general. So he's living there, and I'd go visit him and shit. We went during 4th of July one time, America's capital. And they don't really have Dr. Pepper as readily available as here. It was kind of a southern thing. I don't know how it is now, but I finally got my hands on some fucking Dr. Pepper and just drank it, like water. Like no drinking water, just Dr. Pepper, to the point where I started having like heart palpitations.
Oh, shit. Yeah, you know, overdose of caffeine.
Yeah,
And sugar.
yeah, all that.
And all sorts of good high fructose corn syrup.
The best. And then I had to go to the doctor because of Dr. Pepper and missed out on this whole 4th of July thing. And that was a fun moment because after that, I stopped drinking soda like outright for like a long ass time, because it just fucked me so hard. When I was in there, there was a monk, like a full ass Tibetan monk that came in the orange garb, bald head, all that. And I was in the emergency room. They had these like urinals or whatever. Like they don't always have a room. Sometimes there's just curtains that partition off, and they have that's like the room. It's just like this curtain thing. And there's other rooms. Jason, I've seen this Tibetan monk come in, and it's DC. You see a lot of international people, so I didn't think twice about it. But I could hear everything the doctor was telling him from my little partition curtain area, and I saw sandals underneath and shit too, like full ass Tibetan monk. And the doctor came as soon as he walked into his little curtain room. He was like, "So how long have you been using cocaine?" And he's like, just on the weekends. And I was like, that makes me respect their like vows of silence so much more. To know that they're just coked out during it and not talking, like that's way more impressive. Like that's respect right there. That's dedication here. That's you're with the cause for sure. But yeah, that was before my mom was like a naturopath doctor, and then she started getting into that after high school. And when I was in high school, and then like I didn't eat McDonald's for like 10 years. Like I was super super staunch. I grew my own weed, and I was using like I'd make my own like fertilizer and shit. Like I was foraging, you know, like I got real big on like the regenerative agriculture thing, and I'm a little less strict about it now, but I definitely because it can get a little culty, about it. But it's not a bad cult to be in.
Yeah.
There's some bad cults to be in, but
Mm-hmm.
the health conscious one isn't terrible.
Dude,
Yeah.
it's kind of fun.
It is kind of
Growing
fun.
your own vegetables.
Dude, it
like,
really is.
I've
It
grown
really
my own vegetables before. It's like a cool, like weird science experiment.
it is way more rewarding because you're I mean there's like an energetic bond that you have with that shit. Like even with cannabis, because like it is a plant, but it's also like a conscious sentient entity. You know what I mean? And like same thing, you put in what you put out. If a lot of these things are grown commercially for the sake of profit, and it absorbs that, you know, not to be on some woo shit, but that's what your now that's the input in your body now is that mindset of they don't care about the effects as much, but like when you grow your own cannabis, or anything really, you grow any kind of food, any consumable type of plant, it just hit different because you put all this energy into it. Now it's reciprocating, and it's a nice feeling too.
Well, and I recently read, I don't know if I mentioned this before on the podcast, but I think I did. Your food is life. It has life. It's alive.
100%, 100%.
And that's what nourishes us. And ultra processed food is taking the life out of our food. So it's basically like machine shit that we're eating. It's like
Grown in depleted soil,
already
GMO'd out,
exactly, already
for profit.
it's because that's what happens. We drain the life out of it while we're processing it in our body. If it's already been processed, then there's nothing to really take out of it.
That's really
Like grain-fed beef fills you up.
Yep.
Well, so actually, grain-fed beef takes longer to fill you up. So when I eat grass-fed beef, I'll eat smaller portions.
100%.
Because
It's more nutrient dense.
More nutrient dense, and my body's like, oh, okay, good, I'm good now. Whereas when I'm eating shit from the grocery store, it's like
You can't get enough of it because it's your body's eating the thing, but it's not assimilating what should be in there, and there, because we're growing. A lot of people don't know that, how to reinvigorate the soil. Like it's not so much the plant; it's what it's growing in. And if that's right, that's like Terra Preta is they call it Amazonian black gold. That was like their technology. They like in the Amazon they found these what were like little villages and shit. And there was always these deposits of a soil blend that wouldn't intuitively make like it was like they definitely consciously made it. They throw in fish in there and all these different things that make this just extremely nutrient dense soil. And in all those communities that use that soil, they were thriving, and because they understood like the nutrient is in the soil. The soil and the plant have this. They literally communicate with each other. They create these exchanges,
right.
and everything's working towards, like just what's the word?
Synergistic.
Synergistic, and also there's a Disney movie about it, where like there's water here, and like osmosis. You're talking about reverse osmosis, yeah. Yeah, it like the soil, the microbiome, the we're talking about the mushrooms and shit. Like that's the internet of the forest.
Right.
They facilitate the exchange. They're like the middlemen between the nitrogen and the potassium and shit like that in the soil. and they facilitate those exchanges. If it's absent, then you're just eating plant matter, or you're smoking plant matter. There's no substance to it, and a lot of people don't realize how accessible like locally farmed and like
Oh, yeah. And it's the same price.
same price. They have way less overhead. And it's something like you feel a difference after you start eating it for
Taste the
like,
difference, you feel the difference.
and it's hard to go back to the other shit because
Oh,
then
it's
you
terrible. I just
now
spent
you-
the whole week eating like freaking restaurant food, basically, and food truck food, which I love food trucks,
the
but
same.
it's not.
It's convenient and it is what it is and serves a purpose, but like when you make your own food, especially if it's like got ingredients that you grew or you consciously sourced from someone that it's kind of like it really does make you feel a lot different because you're eating real food and it's not just like I've heard they like a tomato, it's got like when you buy it from a grocery store, it's got about maybe half the amount of nutrients of an actual tomato, and they do all this shit to make it look more palatable, like make the meat look red and
Carbon
or
monoxide.
even eggs. Like America's one of the only countries that refrigerates eggs because they wash the eggs.
They watch the blue ball.
Exactly. So like
America now. So if you look at like farm fresh eggs, it's a very dark orange yolk,
Yeah.
yep.
and
I remember the first time seeing that shit, and you're like, and it's
yeah,
tastes way better.
the grocery store eggs don't.
It
Because
looks
they're living inside. They're not. They're eating grains. Like, and then the egg companies have figured this out. So now you have to worry about they're injecting dyes.
yep.
And that dye, that specific dye, that
Keyword
they're
on
putting in
dye.
eggs is blinding people. It fucks your eyes up.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And the whole point is to make your eyes look at that and like, oh, that's yellow.
Yeah.
That's a deep, rich yellow. That and then you gotta have some feathers in that egg carton. And
Some of my eggs, they watch the bloom.
do you have chickens?
No, but I'm thinking about getting.
So you got a
some
good plug.
ducks. But there's a local farm that sells raw milk, raw cream, raw heavy cream, and then
Eggs.
honey,
That's what's up.
and they do eggs, and so that's where I get my eggs. And so there's a little bloom on some of them. They've pretty much cleaned everything off, but they're freaking huge for one. Giant.
And you don't need to refrigerate them. Like,
Wow, for the blooms.
oh yeah, but like
But there's
they
like,
they just
there's like shit. Everything comes from the same place.
yeah. It's get a little juice of the roost in there. And it hit different, but everyone so they don't even know that exists half the time.
Well, we're so like
And where's the convenience
I
society?
say the great prophet Mike Judge because like we're living in they're telling people that seed oils are the way to go and saturated fat from cows is bad for you. And
And it's like the pasteurization is the original cancel culture.
well, and yeah, exactly.
You're killing a lot of that shit. Like raw milk is illegal. Yeah.
Also, there's something in the news that growing your own vegetables is bad for the environment.
Just like how they charge, like collecting rainwater is illegal.
So new health regulations came out. They're saying like Lucky Charms is healthier for you than ground beef.
Oh please.
What?
That's the sad part is there's so many people that are just ignorant, and that's not your fault. You don't know what you don't know.
Exactly.
They're just ignorant, and so they'll believe
It's designed for you to think that.
they
You have to
have
step outside the box.
interest in them, and they-
Like
it's great.
it's FDA approved. The FDA's approved some crazy shit. And it's like there's so many factors to it too, to where really knowing your source. If you don't do it yourself, you know, at least knowing the fact that they're not using these specific things. Like something can be organic, but all organic is just a list of shit you can't use. People always find a workaround.
Well,
So they might be
organic means they spray the pesticides topically.
Yeah, it's still getting sprayed.
Yeah,
It's
still getting
it's
sprayed.
still
That's why
growing in shit
I
soil.
normally don't buy, like, if I'm gonna go to the grocery store, it's gonna be Trader Joe's
Yeah.
or Sprouts. I stopped going to Whole Foods except for cheese. Because the cool thing about Whole Foods with their cheese, because most cheese, like, I don't know the exact, I don't want to lie, I don't know the exact statistic, but a certain percentage of our cheese has, so it's rennet is what it's called. It's the enzymes that make the cheese.
Yeah.
And a huge percent of our cheese in America has lab rennet. It's microbial rennet, is what they call it. And it's lab created enzymes. They're not normal. So the cool thing about Whole Foods is it will show you whether it's animal rennet, vegetable
no shit.
rennet, which I only go for animal or vegetable rennet. And it shows you
What are the other kinds? The lab just like
microbial.
and that's the one you want to avoid.
It's one organ. It's not comes from fake enzymes. So that's the only thing I'll typically get Whole Foods. Sometimes snacks too. There's like freaking crackers that they have that are really good.
They got some good shit.
Otherwise, Sprouts
Sprouts is always solid.
because they've started putting GMO stuff in Whole Foods. It's owned by Jeff Bezos.
Yep. Yep.
It's
That
that's the
pro-
other
that
misconception is like it's a health food store. It's really not a health food store. It's a healthier food store. Most of the shit in Trader Joe's still has canola oil or soybean oil.
and yeah,
And those are both fucking terrible.
terrible. And the process involved of harvesting that are way more detrimental to the environment.
Canola oil is short for Canada oil.
Canada?
Canada oil.
No shit.
Is what they
I thought it was maple syrup.
No, canola oil. Canola oil is actually comes from a plant called rapeseed,
Oh, I've heard of rapeseed.
and it's neurotoxic,
Mm.
but you can't market rapeseed.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about rapeseed that's just not marketable.
Hashtag lethal.
Yeah.
So and it's neurotoxic. So what happened is in World War II they created all this oil for their machinery, and then the war ended. And they're like, what are we gonna do with all this oil? And then they tested on animals and found that animals were dying of heart attacks because that's shocker, plot twist. That's actually what causes your freaking
Otters.
plaque and
Yeah.
shit.
The canola oil.
It's the
Really?
seed oils.
Yeah.
Really?
And so they're like, what are we going to do with all this oil? Well, it's killing animals. It's not been proven to be harmful to humans. Let's feed them the oil.
Oh Lord.
And that's bad. And I mean, fucking look at margarine, dude. It's so easy. It's so easy. You just scoop it out of a bucket. You know, margarine's like one molecule away from plastic. That's
No shit.
one of the worst things you can fucking
I know it's like a synthetic, like oil-based thing, but it's like,
made
dude,
out of seed oils. Yeah.
like a quality like butter. There's nothing better than that.
There's no
You're not gonna beat that. You're not gonna make that in a lab that's better.
Well, and you don't realize how easy it is to make butter. So I get this cream from this freaking local farm. I
Shake it up a little
I
bit.
ate it. Well, you can shake it up, or I hit it with my stick blender.
Dang,
And
yeah,
in
it's
2 minutes, I've got fucking
whipped cream.
butter.
My dad grew up in a village, a farming village in Iran, and they had like nomadic tribes that would come through, and they would barter with them, crops and shit. And they would make, they would like milk like the sheep and shit. They had like basically a sheepskin pouch thing, and they like fill it up with that, shake it and shit, and create this just like butter on the spot from
Yeah, dude.
it's like
So easy.
shit
but
is grazing naturally, and
convenience has is destroying people. I saw a clip. It was kind of funny. It's like an old west. I don't know where it was from, but it was like old west, and this guy's like, electricity, it's gonna be great, and he's like giving this whole spiel, and they're like, yeah, but then like, yeah, that's convenient, but then we have to pay for their machines, and then like really what it's done is convenience is like taken away our ability to sustain.
Oh, dude, and the bar keeps getting set higher because it's like you order something off the internet. Oh, it's gonna take a week. That's now the status quo. Now if it ain't here in 2 hours, I'm pissed.
Your own mayonnaise, you know, you just get
Oh yeah, eggs and shit like
eggs and a little bit of freaking
oil.
oil, and a little bit of freaking lemon juice,
Yeah,
salt. That's it. It's fucking
you don't
it.
need all those extra ingredients.
You don't need all. Well, here's the other fucking sad thing is
Real mayonnaise ain't that.
real mayonnaise has canola oil in it.
Yeah,
So I was like, ooh, I love avocado oil. Avocado oil is better.
I cook with that.
I cook with
With
avocado.
that high smoke point.
So I was getting avocado oil mayo. You want to know what the three first ingredients are in avocado oil mayo?
What's that?
Avocado oil? No, soybean oil.
Really?
So why the fuck am I buying avocado oil mayo if it also has the shit that I'm trying to avoid?
Yeah.
So I just make my own fucking mayo. And it tastes better anyways.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah, it's not even that inconvenient to make that shit.
I cut my own garlic.
Yeah, yeah. Instead of buying like the little tube, like paste or whatever.
I used to buy it pre-cut in a jar. Now I just freaking buy cloves of garlic and cut that shit in. It tastes better. A, it only takes a couple minutes. B, I did just find out that when you cut your garlic, you should wait 10 minutes.
For what reason?
Hold on, I'll tell you. So wait 10 minutes before you cook it. So, like, if you got like a marinade, go ahead and throw in your marinade, but wait 10 minutes to cook it because apparently there's an enzyme, garlic. It's like that's like all the
Is it
benefits of garlic.
quercetin? Is it quercetin?
I'm not sure.
Or Allison?
It could be quercetin.
Allison. Allison's like I think the active.
I think it is Allison. And that's where all the heart health and shit for garlic comes from. And if you cook it before that 10 minutes, the enzyme isn't fully releasing. But it's so much easier, or it's so much better just to freaking buy garlic, smash it, and cut it up.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah,
better
no,
flavor, and you're not. What's that juice that's fucking like
vinaigrette.
I don't know.
Juice with vinegar or with what?
For the garlic that's pre-cut, put in the jar.
Oh, what?
Like what's it floating around? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
what's all?
It's not garlic.
It's not garlic. Because garlic doesn't have juice in it.
And again, it's just seen as like a convenience, but it's like it's really not that big of a deal.
Not
It's
much
fun.
of a
It's
difference.
fun to smash garlic.
Yeah.
Do you have a garlic processor?
I do. It's.
I don't really
plastic,
like
though.
those.
I'm trying to get away from
I
plastic.
don't really like those.
I don't really like those either. What I prefer
I'm a big
is I
mint.
just freaking smash it with my knife
Yep, yep,
and then I chop it up.
yep. That's the process right there.
That's typically the way I do it. But like, there's so many things that you can do. So
You go on TikTok there, you'll find a food hack
right?
for
Exactly.
processing garlic. It's like
I just getting ready to. I've got tomatoes numbing, so I'm getting ready to like try and make my own sauce. Like
Hell
spaghetti
yeah.
sauce. I'd like to freaking make my own pasta. I grind my own freaking flour.
no shit. No, I love it. I love it.
And
Yeah,
I
you
love
go
it.
down. You go down a deep rabbit hole of that because it's like
yeah,
once you see, it's hard to unsee.
absolutely.
And then you can almost be like OCD about it. Like I have that point in my life.
It's so funny though, because I got my wife. Like she used to make fun of me. She's like, "You're so crunchy, Lou. Leave me
Yeah.
alone." And now that I've
They-
gotten her to switch, she's like, "Ugh, this cake tastes terrible. Like, why? I don't want this."
Exactly.
And then like we'll go other places, and she's like, "Holy shit! Look at all that fucking red dye." in there."
Yep. Yep. It's almost like ignorance is bliss in a lot of those situations. 'Cause it's like you just think that's food. Now you're like taking a conscious compromise. And it's like, well, whatever. I'll go to my aunt's. You know.
Well, but then there's like Thrive Market. I haven't tried Thrive Market. My sister keeps telling me about Thrive Market.
I've heard of
And
Thrive.
it's like health conscious snacks. So it's like Doritos without the red dye and the MSG. And it's
Basically, basically all our snacks that are illegal in other countries, like yeah,
exactly.
because a lot of
Here's the thing: it's still carbohydrates. Body
You need that, yeah.
carbohydrates into sugar. Sugar is freaking bad. So they're healthier snacks. They're not healthy snacks. Healthy snacks and beef jerky is healthy snacks.
Yep. Minimally processed shit is always the case.
Shit.
Like
Fruit and vegetables are healthy snacks. Your freaking chemical-free chips they're still not healthy snacks.
You're like a savant on this.
It's
Yeah.
dude, it's a lifestyle. It's literally a
it's
lifestyle.
literally a lifestyle.
And it actually makes sense.
And
Unlike
I just feel so much better. That's why I talk about it so much. Dude, I pressed this shit on, turned off.
Oh, you pressed it and it turned off? It'll do that.
Do you think I'm gonna be all right?
Is it back on?
It's back on.
How long was it off?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Oh,
tell it.
Yeah, dude, I had to learn about neem oil because I had.
Oh
freaking
yeah, now
bugs
that's
eating my
bad for
shit.
plants.
What's what?
Now, did you learn a good thing about it or a bad thing about it?
Oh, good thing about it. You spray it on your plants and it keeps the bugs out.
It sure does. It sure does.
It's natural.
I've heard bad things about
Natural
neem
shit.
oil too. That's only
Really?
because it is very effective as far as like a natural pesticide. A lot of like cannabis grows will use it, but they will spray it on the flowering plant, and then you end up smoking it. Like a lot of people don't.
Oh no.
It seems weird counterintuitive, but whenever I was growing, I would as soon as I harvested the plant, I had like 3 5-gallon buckets. One was like just like a lemon like a lemon water mix, just like a little bit of squeezed lemon and water. The other one was like a little bit of hydrogen peroxide, and some people do like baking soda and shit too. And then the other one is just like a lukewarm water, and you just kind of dip it. And it seems like, what the fuck are you doing? But we all wash our vegetables and shit. You wash
Right. I wanna
every
smoke
other
it.
plant that you consume. And until you do it, you don't really like realize how much it's like shit is on those plants. Dirt, bugs, this and that. And a lot of people keep using neem up to the point of like harvest. Because bug issues only get worse, the juicier that plant gets. And while it works, that neem oil it doesn't go away. It's a lot of when you smoke neem, that can cause I forget what the term was, but it causes very specific ailment that you get from smoking cannabis,
Holy shit.
and it's a lot to do with the neem oil. But neem oil is great. You just don't use it like while the plant isn't flowering. Like it's perfect.
Okay.
And then like
That's good to know. What would you use instead?
I would use a mixture of like ladybugs, praying mantises, and this specific wasp called fuck, dude. It's got a great. It's this tiny little wasp that.
So put them in my garden?
Yeah, and I use the wasp specifically because I had aphid issues,
Okay.
and aphids are
Are they gonna sting me? And
no, they're too small to.
oh, okay.
They're no harm to humans. They're tiny. You can barely even tell it's a wasp.
Okay.
Aphidius colmani is like the sciencey term for it, but it's this specific wasp that requires aphids to complete its like life cycle. So it's pretty gnarly. They can't harm a human. Well, fuck an aphid up. They'll go and inject they're like a fertilized egg. I don't know how they have sex or if they're asexual or what, but they'll inject an aphid with their seed, and then like within 2 weeks, another one like it'll like mummify the aphid, and like through its head it'll pop out a new wasp.
That's wild.
And they're so effective at that. And so I would use a lot of like living things to like ward off. That was my A team, and then I would use.
So how do you keep the ladybugs and shit from flying away?
They were in a tent.
Oh, okay.
I tried it outdoor, but they'll do exactly that. Like, yeah, damn it. But if you throw them in a tent, yeah, they will stay in property. I've seen them fuck. It's pretty hot. I'm not gonna lie. It's like, is this technically lesbian sex with your lady? But they're the good guys. I need to keep spiders around because some motherfuckers take care of.
I only kill brown recluse spiders
Yeah.
and black widows.
Yeah. Yeah, like they're part of the good guy team. And then if I really had to hit it hard, I would use a like a pepper ferment.
Okay.
Pepper ferment was pretty effective. And I'd mix it with a soap berry. That's a soap berry tree, and if you boil those, it's like it literally makes soap. You make your own soap,
Oh, sure.
and you can use it as a surfactant for gardening because like when you're spraying shit, sometimes it doesn't like stick to the foliage, and that helped. It would simultaneously wash the plant and help the plant like absorb more of whatever like input you're using. Like for flour, I would use I had a mulberry tree. I would ferment mulberries. You basically make hooch. Feed it some hooch.
Nice.
And like the plant loves itself too. Like during like the vegetative stage, I get like if I have like a male plant or whenever I do trimmings, I'd save that up, ferment the shit. Very delicious. Like because it becomes like alcoholic at a point. So, but I'd use this as like weed ferments to spray on them and they love it, it's so you're spraying it with itself. But there's what else did I use for as far as like that?
So you ferment the weed
Yeah, and all
then
it
you
is
spray
brown
it on
sugar.
itself?
Yeah, you get a mason jar of brown sugar and just get the plant clippings from every trim from that jar and add some water. And within a week you have, like a vinegar like substance. And
Okay.
I would just take that just for like, because it's filled with really good probiotics and stuff like that. And it's I was like big on that. They call it Korean natural, KNF Korean natural farming. It's like a whole like they're big on like ferments. It's a good style of gardening that is 100% natural and regenerative. And
Okay.
I just had a refrigerator full of ferments and stuff like that.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. It's like whenever I look at a plant, I'm like, oh, I could ferment that. I could ferment some rapeseed. But yeah, that's why. So I was a big stickler. I'd only like I made my own soil blend and shit like that. I had it like lab analyzed to make sure like I had a good amount of like healthy bacteria and fungus. I really nerded out on the whole like natural farming shit because when you gotta learn about how depleted the soils are and like you're just eating empty foods basically.
Yeah.
It's all about like feeding the soil, not the plant. If your
Right.
soil conditions are right, it kind of does the rest for you.
I've started saving my coffee grounds.
Oh yeah, that's
So I'm
great
throwing
too.
that.
Especially if like a worm bit. I was using like
yeah.
like red wigglers and shit, like because they'll not only like aerate the soil, but their droppings, they're like very very like I forgot what they call it. Yeah, worm castings. They call them worm castings. It's worm shit. Like guano is like that, or it's like that shit.
Right.
Worm castings are super super effective in the garden. Like one of the best natural things. But yeah, it's easy to grow them to get the worms too. Use coffee grounds and like newspaper and some food scraps. You ever heard of bokashi?
Uh-huh.
Bokashi is like a natural food processor. Again, like 5-gallon bucket, and it's like I think it's like some kind of grain. I don't know if it's like barley or it's some kind of grain, but they inoculate it with uh, these like bioactive shits, like ferments and stuff like that. Whatever they do to it, if you just throw in food scraps, doesn't matter if it's meat or like produce, like vegetables and fruits and shit, whatever it is, you throw in food scraps and you throw in a layer of that shit, and you progressively do that, and it's not only breaking that down, there's like no smell to it. And after you fill that bucket up, now you just have this like super nutrient dense uh, uh basically shit you can like supplement your soil with.
Nice.
And so I was doing that bokashi recycling for a while too, where I was trying to just like minimize the trash, like
Yeah.
I just say like let's see how much trash I can produce.
Well, I have this. My backyard looks like the freaking Blair Witch Project, dude. It's
Oh
like
yeah,
brutal. So I need to like cut down all these weeds
it's a lot of work, dude.
and
Like
trees and stuff, but I'm gonna just compost the whole yard
yeah,
because then that's free compost,
exactly,
dude.
exactly.
I
It
already
gives you back what you put in.
exactly.
You just have a lot of shit that people throw away. That's like the perfect thing to amend your soil. That's why I like. Uh, I wouldn't even smoke like hydro weed for a long time, like hydroponically grown weed, just because it's like all synthetic. For the most part, synthetic. You can have like some synthetic shit, but like for the most part, just synthetic salts,
Mm.
and then you're playing God, like well, and it is what it is. It's like it's just water and salt. It's like the highs are different off of it. Um, a lot of people don't realize weed's a good thing, but depending on how it's grown, can affect you in a big way. Like some people are more sensitive to it than others, but certain even like things that are considered to be like good inputs, I think a lot of people have like allergic to it and don't even realize it. Like even the whole vibe, like if they're just grown commercially with no nutrients, like you're hydroponically growing, it's a clone of a clone of a clone of a clone of a clone. But fuck this thing, this thing. I did I mean we're smoking incense. And I would
You say we're smoking incense.
basically
That's
every
true.
street's like butt fuck, butt fuck, butt fuck, butt fuck, butt fuck. And that's only exploring like a sliver of the spectrum of what of what that plant is capable of and shit.
So basically, we're like, no matter what, we're smoking GMO.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Whether it says that on the label or not, yeah. I mean,
But I mean, hybridization of plants has been around for a long time. So is that really truly GMO?
not necessarily because there's a lot of selective breeding, like air. That's where like air varietals come in. I had a
Right.
when I lived in Moore. This is when I was doing all this shit because I just had the land to do it. I was on green belt, so I could get creek water, and I had these like random plants and shit, the mulberry trees, the berries, and other things I could tap into. But I'm in a condo, so I don't have that same abundant
Right.
toolkit or whatever. But uh, the I did like a lot of land race preservation, so like either wild cannabis that come from a particular region. It's like the idea was like, oh, I want to grow weed that was like grown in Iran. And so I acquired some seeds and I like kind of fell in that world. So I was like seed collecting and uh like shit from like Papua New Guinea and these um, like just basically shit that's never been hybridized, like just pure land raised shit. And or just ones that was selectively bred, like, hey, this village has been growing this particular strain for X amount of years, but they've kind of culled out all the bad, like they picked the good strong plants, but it's still the same thing. Because a lot of those were the building blocks of everything you smoke now, but those genetics are easily lost, so I would get those and just do like seed runs. So I just grow shit. I'd find some of the male plants, the female plants, and let them have like an orgy, and then I'd collect the seeds. So that way, that those genes are like preserved.
Yeah.
And you never know. Like there might be a time where they're already starting to do it, like with all the GMO shit with cannabis too. So it's like I want to make sure these building block genetics, are like preserved
Oh, bro.
before you
Yeah.
have like the Monsanto and shit like that. And that was super fun. Like It was like Pokemon for weed though, you know.
Yeah, totally.
I had like every continent, you know. I had like Australian shit, Siberian shit, and the Siberian shit was interesting because I'm not sure if you've heard of auto flowering
Uh-huh.
cannabis. Like usually when you're growing, you like let the plant grow to a point where it's like big enough to flower, and you flip the light cycle, and the plant just knows based on the light cycle when to start flowering, and uh, and that takes like an average of like 4 months. And then auto flowering ones, it doesn't matter the life cycle. They all like grew up in like the very like northern longitudinal hemisphere and shit. A lot like Kazakhstan, Siberia, and they'll flower on their own without you having to flip the life cycle, and it cuts the grow time in half.
Oh,
So it's like a grandma can just like have the plant and not worry about, you know, does it need to be on 12 hours of light, this much darkness. They just let it grow, and then within like 2 months, you have like smokable cannabis. But the raw shit it's not very potent. So they would, you know, like work out. They keep breeding the shit to where it's still an auto flower, but it's like actually more smoking. And they got it to a point now where like, you know, let's grow some top shelf stuff, but all that comes from somewhere.
I love all the information we're getting about growing because
I-
Cody Troutman is,
Dude,
I had
Cody,
no idea that he was growing pot.
bro,
That guy is like an
he grows some
encyclopedia.
really good weed.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's very knowledgeable about it too. And he is just autistic enough to play God. You know, like okay, yeah, I like the soil shit because it's like I'll just feed the soil and it does the rest for me. It's easier for me to do that. But he has like every like milligram of this nutrient that like his brain works really well for that. And I've tried the product. It's pretty good.
Huh.
And it's the last person I expect to
Dude, yeah,
grow
because
really
he
good.
doesn't smoke.
He
I
doesn't
talked
smoke.
to him about that. He's like, "Well, I would, but it's my asthma." He's like, "It's actually been a really good experience because I'm not biased, so I can trust what other people are telling me,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
I have no bias." And I was like, "That's a really cool
Give him
way."
some good
you
weed
know what I
back.
mean? Like,
That seemed a little much for that.
Yeah, it did.
everybody got to stop and watch.
You got a gooseneck.
For one. Dude, I've been left on the highway. I'll never forget this shit. We freaking responded to I think it was a car accident. It wasn't really a very big deal, but they wanted to go to the hospital. And so I'm getting all their information, doing some stuff and we're taking vitals and shit on the highway. And my supervisor opens the door and he's like, "Hey, dipshits, you're in the middle of the fucking highway. Get off the road." And the fucking, the firefighters, I mentioned in a previous episode that they're kind of just big dumb animals. The firefighters just left. Because you see how they were like at an angle blocking off that whole lane?
Yeah.
And so the ambulance doesn't get plowed from the side. And so that's how they were parked, and they just freaking pieced out and didn't tell us.
The fire people?
The firefighters, yeah. So they have
They have, like, a
cameras
ruthless
on the
fucker.
highways. So the dispatcher saw us freaking hanging out in the middle of the road and hit up our supervisor and freaking
Ratted on you?
Well, I mean,
While you're out
it
there
was,
trying
it
to
was
save
more of a
lives.
safety issue.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't even a real car accident anyway. I mean, I think it was, but they weren't that injured. I don't think they were injured at all.
It's
A lot
like
of times people feel
will fade.
better if they go to the hospital.
It looks a lot better when you file that insurance claim. Too.
Right, that too.
Yeah.
Unless you were at fault, then you get to pay for hospital bills and
The ambulance.
the ambulance. And
boy,
ambulances aren't
boy,
cheap. And
Not
people
cheap
are
at
like,
all, dude.
you were like, "Yeah, it goes on my water bill, bro." That does not even.
That's not a
cover-
public service.
That does not even cover the full of it, dude. Like, yes, there are cities that have HEMSA on their water bill, but that.
Wait, really?
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Well, so you pay a little extra every month, and that's supposed to pay your ambulance bill. But dude, that shit goes by the fucking mile.
That's
stuff you
that's
get-
a pricey.
You get paid for the response. Now, if you refuse transport, you don't have to pay.
That's a neat little life hack, by the way. If they give you a breathing treatment,
Oh, so they just come and do on-site shit, like.
I'm not sure if they have to pay if you like give them a breathing treatment or whatever, and you refuse transport, but you don't have to pay for the ambulance if you refuse.
But the moment they pop your ass in there and
Oh, the moment
mobilize
you're
you.
like, yes, I want to go to the hospital, then be ready, bro, because that shit ain't cheap. It's the most expensive cab ride you'll ever
shit.
take. Dude, it's so funny. We used to have homeless people. They use it like public transit, dude.
Really?
So they'll call 911, say they're having chest pain, and then they'll be like, and when
Tell
that's
me
like
on
an
the arts.
automatic, like, oh, let's go. So they're like, I want to go to this hospital, and then they'll sign out against medical advice when you get to the hospital. So then they're closer to their destination, their freaking friend's house or their
Oh,
dealer
shit.
or whatever the fuck.
And they don't have to pay for it, or there's no way for
I mean,
them
they gotta pay for the transport, but they're a
Where are they
homeless
gonna send the
person. What are they gonna? How are they gonna? You know what I mean?
And that
What are they gonna garnish the homeless's wages that they're
right.
getting from cash on the side of the road?
So they probably just chalk it up to whatever.
Yeah.
Charge for the game.
I Ubered someone to Oklahoma Heart Hospital with chest pains because they didn't want to call the ambulance.
Yikes.
Yeah.
That's a slippery slope.
Yeah.
Wow.
But to be quite honest,
Wow, they put you
a lot.
Yeah.
Hey, that's pretty good. So you're
That's
like, what if
pretty
they just-
risky because what if he would have gone into cardiac arrest with,
Yeah.
and you're dry, you know?
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, that's a bad be waiting.
Yeah.
Look, you want a water bottle?
Yeah, he was sweating and everything. I was getting there as quick as I can.
That's a dismal reality right there. Where it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
that guy,
And if he was sweating, he was dying. Probably. He was
I
probably.
know I can't drive.
He was
but-
actually sweating. He was probably having a heart attack.
Wow.
Maybe, or he could have been having an anxiety attack. Sometimes that.
But I think I remember him saying he's been in and out before.
Oh, yeah, then- If he's had previous heart
He
issues,
knew what
then
was going
He was
on.
definitely.
He couldn't afford airlift, so he just got eaten.
Yeah.
Freaking pop a nitro and hit it. Well, and that's really true too. Is with a lot of freaking issues, especially because time is heart muscle. If you have an artery blocked off and your heart muscle's not getting blood, tissue is dying.
Yeah.
So the quicker you can get to the hospital, the better. Burn diesel. Same thing with a stroke. Yeah, I can start an IV. Me starting an IV on a stroke patient is just making the process quicker when they get to the hospital for a CAT scan. It's
You're just
not.
taking care of the.
Yeah, I'm just making it easier
You're
on
in the
them.
pre-flight check.
Me starting an IV on a stroke patient isn't doing anything right now for the stroke patient. The only thing that you can do for a stroke patient is burn diesel, dude. Hit
Yeah.
the freaking gas.
Oh,
Let's fucking go.
Yeah.
My mom would say the best thing you could do for a stroke patient is burn female domination. But yeah, that's. And then when they get to the hospital, they actually have all the shit.
Dude, those were
address
some
that.
of my favorite calls were freaking stroke patients.
Yeah.
I got a guy there was a Mexican restaurant on the expressway and we got called for a stroke. And it was a very obvious stroke. But he was working and his people noticed immediately because that's the thing. Just like I said, heart muscle, same thing with the brain. Time is brain tissue. If you've got
There's like an
tissue-
acronym for recognizing the stroke, right?
yeah, fast.
Yeah, that's right.
So, the staff were like, "Hey, something's wrong. This ain't right. Like, this is serious." So we get there. We're driving 80 miles an hour into oncoming traffic on the expressway.
Oh shit.
I'm starting IVs in the back, and we get into the hospital. From onset, from symptoms start into the CAT scanner in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Damn.
I fucking loved calls like that when I was on the ambulance. That's some of my favorite shit. Because all you can do is burn diesel, and I can try to better their
You're a
process
courier at
on
that
the way,
point.
but like it's burn diesel. It's like let's fucking go. But
I think they asked me why I didn't get a. Yeah, they asked me why I didn't get a bigger IV.
Yeah.
I was like, listen, lady, you have no fucking clue.
Yeah.
Let's see you start an IV driving 80 miles an hour into oncoming traffic.
Sometimes you don't always have the butterfly
Yeah,
needle a little bit.
sorry, buddy. It's crazy. But, yeah, man. So,
Yes, I have a friend that's you know a guy named he goes by Tree, his name's John. He's real tall, blonde, like looks like he's Jewish, but he looked like Hitler design.
oh, wow.
He's yeah, he's a nice guy too, but yeah, you gotta be wired a certain way for that, It's, that I would fuck that, I'll fix the computer, fix it in person, like
I'd much rather fix computers, but what I'm doing now, cardiology, is way better. It's a lot less. So it's less senseless bullshit. Like my big toe hurts. Like you'd be amazed the shit that you respond to on the ambulance. So working in cardiology, typically it's somebody that
Well,
for
my
sure
wife
needs
keeps-
your help, and they're very thankful for the work we do.
Yeah.
And I'm a big instant gratification guy, and there's something about like someone's leg being cold where you can't feel a pulse in their foot, and then going in, because we do peripherals too. So like fixing people's heart attacks, that's great. Like we literally saved their life. If freaking an hour later they'd have been dead. But like being able to see someone's leg that's going to die and fall off if we don't do something, and then being able to feel a pulse later and like, oh wow, it's warm. Like
That's what. Right.
That's
it's
gotta be
fucking
hella
crazy, dude. So my job now is much more rewarding because it's a lot less bullshit.
you
And
get
yeah.
super hype whenever that happens. Like,
Oh
look
hell
here,
yeah. Oh hell
you're
yeah.
gonna live because of me.
Oh,
You
hell
know, you've done that. Like, oh, with the drug addicts,
oh yeah, yeah.
you give them pep talks.
Oh yeah, I'd give pep talks to drug
What is
addicts.
that? Is that a
Or-
pill?
That's me saying, hey, stop doing drugs. dude.
Yeah.
All my friends are dead.
Yeah, I wake up heroin addicts and tell them how my friends died of heroin.
Pep Talks does sound like a pharmaceutical you'd give to the homeless.
When my dad had his triple bypass, when the surgery was over, I was almost 400 pounds. The doctor came out, was like, "You're next."
Holy
The
shit!
surgeon.
But that's where
It's
you
a lot of Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
Like,
I guess that's where you were like, holy shit.
Well, that's when I started to think.
oh,
Yeah.
this fucking drug addict monk. He can't even afford shoes.
Holy shit.
Yeah, bodies are crazy, dude. They'll find a way to fuck with you one way or another.
It's pretty interesting though. Like when you have blockage, if it doesn't kill you, your body will grow new arteries.
Yeah.
That's wild. It'll just find another path.
Well, and here's the other thing that I just recently learned. I just took a class. I'm getting ready to get a certification that'll allow me to work in any cath lab. But
Cath lab?
yeah, cath lab.
Catheter labs?
Yeah, I mean that's because
What
we're
exactly
taking
is that?
catheters up into the heart.
Oh,
So
I
catheter
thought
is-
they only go in penis.
No. Different kind of catheter.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, well, there are penis catheters for sure, but different kind of catheters. Penis catheters, by the way, have a. Sometimes now I've seen they come with like a greeting card.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's
It
like
plays your reason
we hope everything went great. It's like,
I
hey, sorry about that dick stuff earlier. I hope everything else goes good for you.
That's
But,
hilarious.
But yeah, like it's just it's pretty interesting. I forgot where I was going with this.
How about how you're a hero and you save people's lives?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
Just that one. You don't have to be so humble.
yeah, no big deal.
No big deal. I just saved your mom.
Yeah. But it's not as fun when you kill them.
It's just like shit. We tried. We tried. That's gotta feel shitty though when you actually try and then
when you try
inevitably
and
sometimes it
they
doesn't work.
don't live. Yeah, that
Yeah.
kind of sucks.
That would
Sometimes it's food bar.
It kind of sucks, but that's life, man.
Yeah.
Life's a crazy thing. Oh yeah, we were talking about arteries growing new arteries. Okay,
So check this out. So there's a thing called a CTO. I just learned this in this class. CTO is chronic occlusion, basically, and so that's a blockage that's been there for a really long time. And so your body's already grown arteries back. Well, now sometimes the doctor will fix that CTO, that chronic occlusion,
Yeah.
chronic total occlusion, and
Like repair that blocked vein.
that
or
blocked
artery.
artery, and then those peripherals will immediately go away. Or
No
sorry,
shit.
Really?
the not peripherals. I'm having a
The arteries will
brain
go
fart.
away again
Yeah, the ones that came to
Bridge the gap.
bridge the gap
because it's not needed.
will go away immediately, almost.
So that's like a natural bypass.
Yeah, natural bypass.
That's crazy.
And so
Yeah,
that,
just
those
knows
will
how to
go
do
away. Then if that occlusion happens again, they won't come back.
Oh, so
So
don't
if you have a chronic total
Oh, fuck.
occlusion, it's best
leave them.
to leave them
Yeah.
They won't come back after the first time.
after that first one. If
You
if
get
you,
one?
if you reopened it, they won't come back.
That's interesting.
You get one. That's crazy.
That's like God saying, only once.
You had your
Yeah.
chance.
Mm.
You get if you eat enough fried chicken, you get hard arteries.
What's that canola, bro?
Oh, you may have to help me get to your house.
Oh, do you want to take the side of it? Maybe it's like 44.
Oh, this
the
one
fur,
here.
the furry fur.
Oh, you gotta like sneak in somehow.
Yeah, they do this. It's been like this for a year.
We'll have to cut that part where I forgot my job.
Oh,
I don't
You ever do
think
it?
you can go here.
yeah. Is it not?
It's a little further up. They
Oh,
better
okay.
not have it
Yeah,
shut
it's
down.
further.
It
Oh,
looks like it's hella shut down, but there's a way to sneak through.
Oh.
And if
It's
not,
driving
not,
high,
then,
I promise.
if not, we can do the other. Oh wait, no.
I think we'll have to go.
Don't make a fool of me. I'm pretty sure you can.
I bet it was right
Just-
there.
Just
no,
rip.
I
No,
don't think
they
so.
got-
It's
Oh,
close.
Oh
No,
shit.
you're fine.
Okay.
It's close.
It's close.
That was a good swerve.
Yeah.
Sons of bitches. Wow. Really? Really? Wait, really?
Oh, what's this?
I think
Oh, there it is.
they're about yeah.
Is this
See?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there it is. There it
Yeah.
is. Yeah. No, it's super looks like everything's closed, but then you have to go through like a labyrinth of these for a minute. But then
Collaterals. Holy shit. Sorry, my brain was freaking farting hard.
Collaterals or
Those arteries,
cholesterol.
those
Oh.
arteries that grow
They're called
are
that.
called collaterals.
Oh,
are there
But those collaterals will go away if you open up that chronic total occlusion, and then if it clots again, those things won't come
Sorry
back.
about you.
vasculary? Does that make sense?
Yeah, the
Vascular.
vasculature.
Uh,
hmm
wow.
Holy shit! But you wild.
You ever have to deal with some hard arteries?
Oh yeah.
No more chitlins for you.
All the time. The freaking calcium, bro.
I did actually have to like whenever I did DoorDash it for a little bit, and I did deliver the fucking fried chicken to the hospital to this woman that clearly was not
Dried chicken.
Fried chicken.
Oh, fried
Yeah, it was
chicken.
golden chick. I delivered
Damn.
golden chick. That's a real addict right there.
Nothing like Bobos though. You
Oh,
ever had
yeah.
Bobos?
Oh, dude, yeah.
Oh,
You gotta earn that purchase.
It's
I love
freaking-
just the industrial sized honey sauce. You know?
Yeah, dude.
You want honey? And then you just pour it. It looks styrofoam box is closed. You're still pouring on it. You're like, you want some honey? Just grease stains on a tall tea. It's yeah. People have been shot there. They have security. People literally will try to risk it for that fried.
Oh yeah, they will. It's so good. We used to send people from the ER.
Smoke fried, smoke good. Just
It's
like
smoked
the
and then fried,
presidents there. Yeah,
What do you think? How do you feel about smoking meat? I feel like it's like the oldest way to cook. But now they're saying that it causes
For, like,
stomach cancer. But I don't know if I believe that because everything else they're saying is fucking a lie. So
I guess it. I
some
guess
people
it.
telling me that smoked food causes stomach
I guess-
cancer are telling me that growing my own garden is bad for the environment.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
don't really know what.
I guess
to
it comes
believe.
down to like you can still smoke hella processed meat the same way you can smoke shit, a venison that you killed, processed yourself. Like, I guess I don't know if it's the whatever you're smoking it with. Maybe that's got. Maybe that can impart some bad. But I always considered it pretty healthy because it's not direct
Minimally
contact.
processed.
Yeah, minimally processed, like no direct contact with the eating element. Like I feel like it, and I don't have any like I never looked it up to justify, but just intuitively, it's like would that help preserve the good stuff instead of like cooking it off? Like it seems
Oh yeah.
like the way to do it. And again, like the whole like some people do that in that diet where it's like not medieval.
Oh, the carnival?
Not a carnivore or the
Oh,
there's another one where you basically just like eat like a hunter gatherer.
Like primitive man.
Yeah. There's
I can't think of what it's called.
You know what I'm talking about. But you just eat like a caveman would.
yeah, the paleo. Or
Paleo,
whatever.
yeah,
Yeah.
paleo. Yeah, and I feel like a lot of cultures like that like were hella smoking meat.
Oh yeah, totally, dude. Freaking
Smoked chicken.
Weed was
You
made.
ever smoked some coke?
Oh, you said smoking meat. You know, smoking weed too. Weed was freaking demonized to put brown people in jail.
Sure, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And boy, I've gone to jail for it with a weed card. It's like, damn it, I'm part of it. I'm just another statistic. Yeah, that's why they like, cannabis is the name of the plant. Marijuana is like they're trying to exotify it, to make it sound more, Bill the Wally.
Yeah.
Man, they want
But like hemp, dude.
Hemp, dude, yeah.
You
Talk
can use
about
hemp
another
so
fucking
much.
concerted effort to, dude, hemp is one of the few, like, if you eat it, it's one of the only one, like, has all the, amino acids.
It's like all the nutrients.
Yeah, it's
sea
like
moss has like
sea moss,
93
dude.
of the 103 nutrients our body needs.
Sea moss has an interesting demographic too. It's either like like woke white women at like at a smoothie shop that charges $14, or just black people. Like anytime I'm in like a black room, I'm always like, who took their sea moss today?
Oh, dude, I freaking love
But no, it is. It's got all the minerals
it.
in
Makes
it.
you feel so good. Dude.
God damn. Omegas.
Yeah.
Got all, it has like the perfect ratio of omegas. It's got all of the perfect ratio.
Well, you can use it for clothes. You can use it for
Yeah,
fuel.
you make
You can
car
use it
out
for
of it.
paper.
They make a car out of it. It's way more durable than cotton. Like, way cheaper to
it's moisture wicking
process.
too. Cotton's not moisture wicking.
Yeah, and it's way cheaper to harvest.
But
Like,
cotton
it grows
is,
quicker.
Cotton is good. Is good.
Cotton is good. Cotton is good. It was a necessary evil, but.
Have I given you the whole fucking frequency speech with like clothing? So everything has a frequency, right? We know this is true. This is like science. It's been proven to be true.
Oh yeah.
So human beings have a frequency of about 100 megahertz. It's 100 million times a second that we vibrate. And
Unless you have Parkinson's.
then you're going a little bit
A
faster.
little bit, yeah.
But your cotton is about 100 megahertz. But a dying or diseased person is about 5 megahertz. No, it's 15 megahertz.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what all these synthetics, plastic, all these polyester, spandex is all plastic? Do you know what their frequencies are? 15 megahertz.
Wow.
So the clothing that we wear is actually making us sick.
Yeah.
That's and then what are you doing? You're washing it with more low frequency shit.
Exactly.
And it just smudged it up. It's
I mean, I was sleeping in polyester, 100% polyester sheets. That's the same shit that's in your tires, dude.
dude, that's why I'm so sick. Is
Not turning head.
War Acres. They had me at war.
Yeah.
And
But,
then sticking the left lane.
Linen and wool.
He's kidding, Mom.
Linen and wool are
This
the,
one?
linen and wool, interestingly enough, are the highest with 5,000 megahertz.
Oh, yeah.
This
So that's where it gets interesting. Apparently, in the Bible, it says don't mix linen and wool. They're the same frequency; they'll cancel each other out. Right? But I switched to linen sheets, dude. I
Yeah.
wake up and don't feel like I'm dying.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. Just the
Oh,
difference.
I don't know
between
why I
your
think I'm
sheets.
I get it. And then on the next thing we'll turn left.
Okay. It's not.
Driving like
Hey, you're doing a lot better than I would.
Oh yeah.
Mario Andretti over here. Just kidding. You're good.
But dude, yeah, the best
Not much better.
the best Dale Earnhardt Jr. The best illustration of like the frequency shit. If you go on like YouTube, left lane there.
Oh, whoops.
Are you good? Is this like British guy that figured out like what's the specific frequency for boiling water, and he made this contraption that it was a sound wave, it was a very specific sound wave, but with no heat. As soon as he dipped this, like it looked like a little ball on a cylinder thing, and as soon as you dip that in the water would instantly start to boil. But you would take that out, and that little thing is cool to the touch. But
That's
it would just
crazy.
make the frequency of boiling water, and I was like, that's crazy.
That's why.
Yeah, when you start knowing like what the certain frequencies are, like, and you can reverse that, and you know,
Well, they've
that's just so crazy.
now in other parts of the world, now they're curing cancer with high frequency.
Yeah,
Oh,
You seen that shit?
If you
Just nuking cancer cells.
exactly, dude. If you figure out basically what is the opposite frequency of a cancer cell, like it's the most effective thing. Like, and then right, like it'll turn it right up here.
Sadly enough, chemotherapy generally kills the person before.
Yeah. No, it really does. You and if you don't do some shit after the fact, like some hardcore chelation and stuff like that, like
I mean,
that's
you know about chelation. My dad was doing chelation therapy in the 80s, bro.
dude. Yeah, it's
When it was taboo.
Yeah,
He got
yeah,
his,
it's still
he got his license pulled, bro.
back in the '80s when they were all about heavy metal. And then lose your hair rock. Yeah. Yeah, dude, it's so much shit. That's why it's like it's kind of like being ignorant. I understand why people are ignorant about it, because it's like when you open that up, it's a deep rabbit hole.
It's a
and
deep
too
rabbit
true.
hole.
It's not even conspiracy shit. It's just like, oh fuck,
Oh fuck! I can't feed this shit to my
damn, I
family.
can't go back to Arby's. Yeah.
Oh, bro, yeah, and that's the other thing. We completely
And then,
cut
it's gonna
out.
be- not this one. The next one.
We completely cut out fast food too. Like I just can't do that to my family, man.
Dude, yeah, like
We'll go to Brahms occasionally because Brahms has their own farms.
yeah, right here.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
You can. Oh,
But Brahms also uses canola oil. So then my next step, there's an app. It's like a seed oil tracker,
oh no
and
shit.
you can it's a subscription, so you pay like $20 a month. But it tells you what restaurants locally don't
No
use
shit.
canola oil and shit.
That's where I didn't even know, like, because a lot of I've had some friends who had like hardcore gluten allergies, and then they had to be conscious of like the cooking oil, and I was like, that's something you don't typically associate with like gluten,
Yeah.
but it'll find its way. Gentlemen, thank you again for
I'll
the
take
savior.
life.
Ed.
I'll take
Life
a
will,
mic.
as they say in Jurassic Park, life will find. a
The
way.
fuck you will. I'm gonna keep this going.
I should have left you.
All right.
Keep-
that's
Oh
another
my
episode.
God,
Thank
Dan,
you.
that was
We're
hilarious.
back. There and back.
Here we go.
There and back.